Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. That's it. That's all that's in my head over and over and over and over again. And England are in a semi-final, but this is not a reaction to beating Norway 2-1. No, this is the semi-final preview. We have four of the biggest nations, four nations away from 2 wins to glory, to winning the most prestigious competition in the entirety of football, in the entirety of sport, where an average of 3 billion people watch the final. Don't talk to me about NFL. Do not talk to me about NBA. Do not talk to me about Champions League. Do not talk to me about cricket, any of those sports. This is the most watched event in the world. This is the most watched event across all sports. It's like the Olympics on drugs. That's what it's like. Argentina, France, Spain, England. 4 teams. All at the top of their rankings. All with different motivations, all with a chance to make some kind of history. More so in the likes of Argentina and England, which helps propel the game into being an absolute blockbuster, whereby England can win their first World Cups in 60 years, and Argentina have the potential to go back-to-back for the first time since only 2 nations have, which is Brazil and Italy. And you have on the other side, France, who play as the game goes, and Spain, who stick to their style of football. They do not deviate from their style of football. 2 heavyweights, 2 completely different belief systems going head-to-head. The same draw or the same match which we had in the 2024 Euro final. But the difference is France have a front 4 who did not play back then. This is a completely different ball game. Spain have gotten used to each other. Spain have gotten comfortable, understood each other's game more and more, and it's not that hard because putting in the pieces of the puzzle, when the puzzle's quite similar in terms of play style, yes. So 2 completely different narratives. You may argue that Spain have looked uncomfortable, have just scraped by, whereas with France, you'll say that they've looked comfortable throughout the entirety of the competition and have blitzed opposition, whether it was Sweden, whether it was Iraq, Norway, who else did they blitz? Who else did they put? Senegal. It's there. It's there for everybody to see, and they are the team to fear. But if there is one team, one matchup that you thought could give them a run for their money, it's Spain. But we'll get into that. We have those 2 semi-finals. Argentina, England, France versus Spain. France versus Spain is an interesting one, right? As I've said many a times, whether on here, on TikTok, or any sort of short form media, Spain themselves hold the ball, pass it around, left to right to left, back to front, front to back. They'll keep passing it around, right? They'll pass the opposition to death. And that's what we can expect. And that's the perception of the people who have seen them scrape by. I say that their results have turned out how they wanted it to be. 1-goal margins. They do not play a risky pass. They do not go for the extravagant. They play it safe. They play between each other, between the lines. They overload the wings, and that's their game. Cutbacks have especially started to look more and more used within the team, and it has yielded results in terms of getting a win. Has it been absolute blitzing? No, but it has been enough to get them where they are in the semi-final. They are here in the semi-final for sticking to what their belief is in football, to sticking to their style of play. And that could be the very weapon that suffocates France, that prevents France from even getting as lethal as we know them that they can be. So, if you're going off of that, you would perhaps, as a Spanish fan or as somebody who knows the way Spain play, you would say a 1-0 win. On the other hand, or on the other side of the coin, you have France, where there are no rules. There's no rules. It's one of them ones where you look at the team and you just go, you take a deep sigh because it doesn't matter what the narrative is, it doesn't matter what the build up is, it doesn't matter how you portray the story. Once the likes of Mbappe, Elise, Doué, and Dembele start to work together with the physicality of Tchouameni, Kone, and to a degree Rabiot, and a centre-back partnership of Saliba and Upamecano, everything goes out the window. Their strengths lie in transitional play. Their strength lies in counter-attacks. What is funny to me is I was having this discussion with my dad just before the World Cup kicked off, and he asked me, right, who do you think will win the World Cup? I said, do you want my head or my heart to tell you? My heart says England, my head says France. He said, oh, there's defensive frailties and, a two-man midfield. Everything he said, I love my dad, but it's out the window. All explanation and reasoning, etc., out the window. France have said, hold that, we have the most disgusting attack, nothing applies to us. So, if you're looking at it from that perspective, you would say 2-0 France, maybe 2-1, maybe Spain nick a goal. Because at the end of the day, they're not dickheads. Spain are not dickheads. They will not overcommit. They will not overplay the high line. They will realize and recognize that they have an opposition who have pacey players and creative players all over the pitch. My suggestion, I am not a coach, nor do I have any badges. But what I can imagine is in possession, as opposed to having a two-man defense, right? In Laporte and Kabase sitting back, right? Kabase has the pace to recover. I would imagine Spain decide to play 3 centre-backs in Cucurella, Laporte, and Kabase. That's what I would think or hope that they would do in order to counter any of France's counters. Because if they go for a counter press and they decide to, push onto France when they're in possession or when they lose the ball and the counter press is beaten, it's game over. It really is game over. When you have those 4 going at you, it's done. But my final prediction for the game, I'll give you my final prediction. My final prediction for the game is 2-1 France. I've said it in TikTok that, they play the best. Spain do play the best football and it could surprise. It could surprise everybody, but it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody if Spain win. So I will say 2-1 France. On to the game where my heart and soul is invested. I have to sort of like analyze this with minimal bias. God, I really do have to be careful with this one. Look, England, just like Argentina, have scraped by. Argentina barely beat Cape Verde. Argentina barely beat Egypt. Argentina barely beat Switzerland. If we're looking at them, taking them to extra time and Julian Alvarez getting a goal in the 113th minute, I believe it was, and individual brilliance and quality to get that goal, they are scraping by. It's a combination of the dark arts meets the power of unity and teamwork and fighting for Messi. It's a culmination of all of those things. Whereas for England, who have just scraped by Mexico and just scraped by Norway, and to be honest with you, did just scrape by Congo as well. What that is, that's more, that's a culmination and determination of a team, a belief, the idea that we can make history. Harry Kane, our captain, Bellingham, our star boy. Premier League proven players like Guehi, O'Reilly, Anderson, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Reece James, Ezri Konsa. The list goes on and on and on and on. Ourselves, we have just as much quality on the bench. I'm not going to say as France, but we have the quality there. Morgan Rogers, Ebre Eze, Marcus Rashford. It really goes on. And Jed Spence, who I think should earn a start. If we're looking at the game, right, we know Argentina do not operate with out-and-out wingers. They play a diamond formation, very narrow. Thomas Tuchel will probably be looking at that and saying, right, off the jump, I want to go wide. I want to go wide, and I want to make sure I expose and absolutely dominate those wings, right? I want to exploit those wings. I want to exploit those isolated fullbacks and go for it. I think he'll. I think we know where it's going with, or we know where he's going with this. In Anthony Gordon, who can run for days, has the pace to break behind, and Madueke. Madueke's decision in the final third is questionable. Has been subject to criticism from the likes of ourselves, and also most notably in the news, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But you can hope and pray that on the occasion that he rises, because one thing that he is good at is beating his fullback and getting to the byline and cross it into a danger zone for somebody to at least get on the end of it. I don't think Argentina have the quality to handle it. But to counter that argument of England having those exploits, Argentina are an absolutely dogged team. They will run and run and run for Messi. And lest we forget about the greatest player in football history, Lionel Messi, who at any moment, he could switch it on and he finds a pass or he finds a corner. Jordan Pickford is very susceptible to long shots, very susceptible to chances taken outside the box. Look at all of the goals he's conceded. His reach is non-existent. I've got more reach on my accounts on Instagram, and I ain't even got that many followers. His reach is horrendous. Maybe Argentina will take advantage of that. We've seen Julian Alvarez score from outside the box. We've seen Messi score from outside the box. Set pieces, I don't think we should be worried on set pieces, which is a surprising factor of Argentina's game, right? Argentina have scored from, I don't know what the exact number is, but, we've had the 2 Christian Romero headers. We had the McAllister header against Switzerland. We've seen them score from corners and from free kicks. But us as a nation, I don't think we should be concerned with that. Ezri Konsa, Grahey, and even John Stones, who, when we played against Norway, was clearing the ball. That's something I don't think we concern ourselves with. And if anything, if we are up against the Kosh and we're 2-1 up and they're absolutely hammering our box with crosses, big damn Burn will come in and sort it out. It's as simple as that. A lot of people are Messi fans for good reasons, and as a result, by extension, are supporting Argentina to see his success extend. And that's resulting in a bias that I cannot argue with or cannot argue against, right? But bias aside, including my own bias for England, I will say this with a clear mind and with my head. I see England winning 2-0 or 2-1. You know what? I'm going to say 2-1. They're susceptible to conceding goals. Both teams are susceptible to conceding goals, but I think England will win. You know what? I think England will win 3-2. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think the brilliance of Lionel Messi and the compact centered midfield of Argentina might overwhelm England, and when they're overwhelmed, they concede. But then I also think on the flip side of that, our wingers will exploit those fullbacks cut in, and I think Harry Kane will get to eat. As long as Anderson and Declan Rice do their job, as long as they do their job and they manage to run the midfield, we have nothing else to worry about. That's it. So by that logic, or by my predictions, it will be a France versus England final, but I will not say a single word on it now. You will have a video out. If we reach the final, I cannot promise a reaction to it because I'm going to be out on the streets, but I firmly believe, I put out a video this morning saying it's coming home. I firmly believe it is coming home. The passion of the nation, the belief of the nation, the galvanized mentality of England as a squad who have been in these certain scenarios, in these similar scenarios. They've lost a final in the Euros. They've lost a semi-final. We have been here before, but the quality is even better than we've ever had it since the golden generation, since Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard times with Beckham. This is our moment. England, take it. Take it with both hands and run with it. Because I can promise you this much. No country, not Argentina, not France, not Spain, is going to celebrate as hard as us. The streets will be a movie. Let's see how it pans out.